Okay, name's Morgan. How did I get into hair in general? It was an opportunity that presented itself. It fell into my lap. And I just found that I really took a liking to it. So I just pursued it and sort of fell more and more in love with the industry. I enjoyed the people aspect of it. I believe that everyone else is a different journey within themselves. Like through their stories, you can live vicariously through, like you yourself and your travels and so on. Barbering, I suppose I got into more because of the fact that I find it far more technical than sort of women's hair. I mean, sure, women's hair cutting is quite technical, but I find shorter hair and haircuts is far more unforgiving. There's no margin for error there, and I really like that sort of edge, that knife edge that you tend to walk on. I decided to venture away from unisex and sort of female hairstyling and start focusing more on men's hair in about 2015, I think it was. A tattoo artist of mine, a friend of mine, approached me with this concept of an arts-based gallery, barbershop and tattoo parlor. So dove in head first and yeah, started off there, and that's basically what got the ball rolling in regards to becoming part of the barbershop culture, I suppose. 2 years later, I approached Bonafide Barbers. They were opening a retail space, and I just thought, you know, having a barbershop may create more incentive for people to come into the shop, into the retail space, because they were predominantly e-commerce based. So yeah, December 2016, I think it was, we started shop fitting here and built what is now Bonafide Barbers. I've seen barbering grow immensely in South Africa over the past 3 years, I'd say. It is definitely, I hate using the word, become a trend. Here we have a culture where haircut is sort of low cost, 10 minutes, bang, 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 in out. It's all about numbers. Whereas there seems to be more of a focus now on focusing on that particular client within that particular time slot. And it's not just about turning numbers anymore. I think that's changing. It's becoming more of a sort of community, like within barbers themselves, as well as the clients and who comes here. We often have people who rock up on a Saturday into our shop, not because they have appointments, not because they want their haircut. They grab a beer and they basically just talk smack with whomever else is around. And I think there are a lot of other shops that are starting to experience that same thing, that same aspect. Not that I'm saying we were the front runners. But apart from that, there's always been a barbershop culture here, and I think, you know, the 10-minute lower cost in art, obviously that's got its place, just like the guys who are on the side of our roads cutting with car batteries. You know, everyone has their place, and I think ultimately it's all a color palette that creates to a much bigger picture, and just the love for what we do and the craft in general. Unfortunately, there isn't much in regards to the educational platform for barbering in this country. There are sort of, how would you say, elite hairdressers who've decided to open up small part-time academies. They'll often offer short courses, but generally what you would have to do is have a hairdressing background prior to doing that short course. They don't really offer a foundation phase, so learning how to use clippers, what's on, what's off, what's open, what's closed, the difference between a 1 and a 6. I think it's rather unfortunate, and I think the only real way forward right now is apprenticeship based sort of learning and studies, which is, I mean, I'm totally okay with that. I respect the old school, and I think that's really important. But in regards to dedicated courses and academies, like I said, from foundation phases up, unfortunately nothing's available. And hopefully in the future I'll be able to set up something in that regard. I'd really like to sort of give something back in the sense of just benefiting underprivileged people and finding a way to educate them, and being able to afford to do that. Potentially get other sponsors on board like Wall, maybe even Mizutani Scissors. It's pretty ambitious, but we can dream. To supply them with kits so that they can go out and make their own money, make their own sort of lives. You know, teach a man to fish, basically, that principle. Why I love what I do, sort of barbering specifically, is in this industry you come across many different people on a daily basis. Some are really assertive and confident, others not. We get to take those who aren't, the lambs, and turn them into lions. We literally watch them walk out of here, you know, puff chests, they're proud, and they're just confident. They feel better about themselves. We have the power to boost their self-esteem, and I think that's something that needs to be utilized carefully, because you know, with great power comes responsibility. So I think that's most likely the most important part to me. Like I really enjoy the fact that we can take someone's personal image of themselves and change it, even if it is just for a week or 2 or 6, whatever. We have that ability to change how they perceive themselves and carry themselves.